In the heart of the Himalayas lies a land of breathtaking beauty, a place of snow-capped peaks, serene lakes, and verdant valleys. This is Kashmir. For centuries, poets have called it paradise on earth. Yet this paradise has been the stage for one of the world's longest and most intractable conflicts. This is the story of Kashmir, a tale of two nations, India and Pakistan, locked in a struggle that has spanned over 7 decades. To understand the conflict, we must travel back to 1947. The British Empire, after ruling the Indian subcontinent for nearly 200 years, was finally leaving. The partition plan was drawn up, dividing British India into 2 independent nations, a Hindu-majority India and a Muslim-majority Pakistan. But what about the 565 princely states, which were not directly under British rule? They were given a choice: accede to India, accede to Pakistan, or, in theory, remain independent. For most states, the choice was straightforward, based on geography or the religion of their population. But Kashmir was different. It had a Muslim-majority population, but was ruled by a Hindu Maharaja, Hari Singh. He dreamt of an independent Kashmir, a Switzerland of the East. He hesitated, trying to play for time and negotiate with both India and Pakistan. But time was a luxury he did not have. In October 1947, the situation exploded. Pashtun tribesmen from Pakistan's northwest frontier province, with support from elements within the Pakistani state, invaded Kashmir. Their goal was to capture the capital, Srinagar, and force the accession of Kashmir to Pakistan. The Maharaja's forces were quickly overwhelmed. As the raiders advanced, looting and plundering, they left a trail of destruction. Panic gripped Srinagar. With his kingdom on the verge of collapse, Maharaja Hari Singh made a desperate plea for help to India. India agreed to send troops, but on one condition: Kashmir must formally accede to the Union of India. On October 26, 1947, the Maharaja signed the instrument of accession. The very next day, Indian soldiers were airlifted into Srinagar, just in the nick of time to halt the invaders at the city's outskirts. This marked the beginning of the First Kashmir War. For over a year, Indian and Pakistani forces fought a grueling war across the treacherous mountain terrain. The conflict wasn't just a battle for territory, it was a clash of ideologies. India saw Kashmir's accession as a validation of its secular identity, a Muslim-majority state choosing to join a Hindu-majority but secular nation. Pakistan viewed Kashmir as the K in its name, an unfinished part of the partition plan, believing it naturally belonged with the Muslim homeland. As the fighting dragged on, India took the issue to the newly formed United Nations in January 1948. The UN Security Council passed Resolution 47, calling for a ceasefire, the withdrawal of Pakistani forces, and a plebiscite, a vote by the Kashmiri people to decide their own future. A ceasefire was finally declared on January 1, 1949, leaving Kashmir divided by a line that would come to be known as the Line of Control. India controlled roughly 2/3 of the territory, including the Kashmir Valley, Jammu, and Ladakh. Pakistan controlled the remaining third, which it called Azaad Kashmir, and the northern areas of Gilgit-Baltistan. The promised plebiscite never happened. India argued that Pakistan never fulfilled the first condition of the UN resolution, a complete withdrawal of its forces. Pakistan accused India of reneging on its promise to let the Kashmiri people decide. This stalemate cemented the division and set the stage for decades of animosity. The conflict reignited in 1965. In what was codenamed Operation Gibraltar, Pakistan once again sent soldiers disguised as local infiltrators into Indian-administered Kashmir, hoping to incite a local uprising against Indian rule. The uprising never materialized. Instead, the infiltration led to a full-blown war. This time, the fighting wasn't confined to Kashmir. It spread along the international border, with both sides launching major tank battles and air raids. After weeks of intense combat and thousands of casualties, another UN-brokered ceasefire brought the war to an end, with both sides returning to their pre-war positions. The status quo in Kashmir remained unchanged. The next major chapter in this saga was the 1971 Indo-Pakistani War. While the primary cause of this war was the crisis in East Pakistan, which led to the creation of Bangladesh, the Western Front saw renewed fighting in Kashmir. Following India's decisive victory, the two countries signed the Simla Agreement in 1972. Both sides agreed to resolve their differences peacefully and bilaterally. The ceasefire line in Kashmir was formally renamed the Line of Control, and both nations pledged to respect it, effectively turning it into a de facto border. For a period, an uneasy calm settled over the region. But beneath the surface, discontent was brewing in the Kashmir Valley. By the late 1980s, a new and dangerous phase of the conflict began. A full-blown insurgency erupted in Indian-administered Kashmir, fueled by feelings of political alienation and supported by Pakistan. A generation of young Kashmiris took up arms, demanding either independence or a merger with Pakistan. The serene valley was transformed into a militarized zone. The conflict became a cycle of militant attacks, crackdowns by Indian security forces, protests, and human rights concerns from all sides. Tens of thousands of lives were lost. Militants, soldiers, and civilians caught in the crossfire. The most tragic victims were the Kashmiri Pandits, the native Hindu community of the valley, who were forced to flee their ancestral homes in a mass exodus in 1990 due to targeted threats and violence. In 1999, just a year after both India and Pakistan declared themselves nuclear powers, the conflict took a terrifying turn. Pakistani soldiers infiltrated across the line of control near the town of Kargil, occupying strategic high-altitude military posts on the Indian side. The move caught India by surprise. The ensuing Kargil War was fought at dizzying heights, in freezing conditions. The Indian Army launched a massive operation to reclaim the peaks. After 2 months of intense fighting and under heavy international pressure, Pakistan withdrew its forces. The nuclear shadow loomed large, highlighting how the Kashmir dispute could potentially escalate into a catastrophic confrontation. In the years since, the line of control has remained one of the most heavily militarized borders in the world. While full-scale wars have been avoided, the cycle of cross-border firing, militant attacks, and political unrest has continued. Peace talks have been attempted multiple times, only to be derailed by renewed violence or political mistrust. Then, in August 2019, the Indian government took a monumental step. It revoked Article 370 of its constitution, which had granted special autonomous status to Jammu and Kashmir for 7 decades. The state was bifurcated into 2 federally administered territories. The move was aimed at fully integrating the region with the rest of India and spurring development. However, it was met with a massive security lockdown, a communications blackout, and widespread international criticism. Pakistan vehemently condemned the action, further deepening the diplomatic chasm between the two nations. Today, the future of Kashmir remains as uncertain as ever. The snow-capped mountains that have witnessed centuries of history now stand silent, witness to a complex web of political ambitions, national identities, and the enduring aspirations of the Kashmiri people. The path to a lasting peace is fraught with challenges, requiring immense political will and a genuine desire for reconciliation from all sides. The story of Kashmir is not just a territorial dispute. It is a human tragedy, a paradise lost, and a dream of peace that continues to elude one of the most beautiful and most troubled places on Earth. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the complex history of the Kashmir conflict. If you found this documentary informative, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more deep dives into world history and geopolitics. Your support helps us create more content like this. See you next time.